What is up, my valid peeps? Cadian here. Kamen Rider Gotchard has many Kames used to access many forms, many of which only exist in concept art. There are quite a few forms, however, that don't. Rather, they only exist in unused sounds from across Gotchard's toy line. In today's video, I shall start filling these out, with the level 10 forms of Super Gotchard accessed through the Exgotchalibur on the Gotchard driver, and the rest of Kamen Rider Majade's forms accessed through the Alchemist driver. With all that being said, let's get started. Right before we continue though, I just wanted to bring attention to the currently ongoing crises in the world. Among these include Israel's genocide and colonization of Palestine and other surrounding countries, the genocide and slavery in Congo, the war in Yemen, and the war and blackout in Sudan. If you could take your time to donate to these causes, boycott those supporting oppression, or even just spreading awareness about these, it would be much appreciated. I'll put some relevant links down in the pinned comment, and now, back to the video. So there are 13 forms that can be accessed with the Exgotchalibur altogether, but only 3 of them actually have physical suits. Cross UFO X, Cross X-Ray X, and Star Gotchard. Of the other 10, 8 of them were for chemists from the main 101, which are the ones I'll be covering today. All of the new forms I'll be covering in today's video were made by one artist, JK5201, over on Fiverr. Going in order of category, we'll start off with the Insect King, Super Gotchard Cross Beetlux. Besides being able to fly, this form specializes in attacks with the giant horn protruding from his chest, which can be used to ram the enemy with great concussive force, and shoot energy blasts from. Taking the existence of all 46 combos and the 3 official Exgotchalibur forms into account, Cross Wizard is, officially speaking, the only one of the 101 chemis we've seen so far to not be used in any rider's form. So let's remedy that with the Master Job Super Gotchard Cross Wizard. This form is an expert at magic, able to cast all sorts of different spells, whether they be for offense, defense, or simply just support. Soaring from above is the top vehicle, Super Gotchard Cross Exceed Fighter. While this form does have jet-powered flight, his main assets are the claws on his forearms, which of course can be used for melee combat, but they're also like repulsors, able to unleash energy blasts and boost the form's flight speed, and they also allow for more stable and controlled flight. This form's finisher is a Claw Blast combo, digging into the enemy with the claws before charging up and unleashing a powerful energy blast from both of them. Standing above all other animals as their king is the animal champ Super Gotchard Cross Lixian. Embodying the power of the strongest animal chemi, this form can unleash powerful slashes from the claws on his hands and 2 different attacks from the lion head on his chest, high voltage lightning bolts from the eyes, and deafening roars from the mouth. The impenetrable moving castle is the high-end artifact, Super Gotchard Cross 10 Fortress. This variant of Super Gotchard is the only one to use the large base body, which is very fitting as he's the definition of an immovable object. A castle on treads with immeasurable firepower, able to withstand the strongest blows, and armed with numerous cannons all across his body, even on his head. Despite his sheer bulk though, with the treads on his feet, he could move across the battlefield without taking a single step. The tallest tree superior to all the others in the forest is the best plant, Super Gotchard Cross Zegdrasil. This form can use the vines on his back to ensnare enemies, and he also has the power of chlorokinesis, allowing him to control all surrounding plant life. Both of these powers can be enhanced by digging the roots on his forelegs into the ground, preventing the form from moving, but strengthening his connection to nature. The representation of the very planet we live on is the Maximum Cosmic, Super Gotchard Cross Gaiard. Each side of this form has different powers. The right, blue side is able to create and manipulate water, and the left, red side is able to create and manipulate lava. Both sides can throw elemental punches, and when used simultaneously, this form can generate steam to cover the surrounding area. The last Super Gotchard form of the video, and Gotchard's combo partner, is the perfect fantastic, Super Gotchard Cross Dragonalos. Combined with the power of a fierce crystal dragon, this form wields enormous strength and incredible durability, can fly, is able to breathe fire from the dragon head on the center of his chest, and can shoot crystal shards from his hands at his enemies. When using his finisher, he's able to coat his hands in crystals to form claws like those of Dragonalos, before flying at and striking the enemy, at the same time being struck by the crystal spikes covering the form's body. With Super Gotchard done now, let's move on to Majade. There are 10 forms that Majade can access with the Alchemist driver altogether, but so far only 2 of them have physical suits, Sun Unicorn and Moon Cerberus. The other 8 Cosmic Fantastic combos she has never used, and those are the ones I'll be covering. 2 of these unused Majade combos though have been used by other riders, Mars Phoenix by Kamen Rider Gotchard, and Black Bahamut by Kamen Rider Wind, who's actually her dad. Therefore, it would make the most sense to start with those 2. The Crimson Firebird, Majade Mars Phoenix, is officially a form Rine only used as Gotchard when she got body swapped with Hotaro, so here she is using it as her normal rider self. In this form, she is able to freely create and manipulate fire however she wishes, including its temperature, able to use flames so hot they turn blue, able to melt pretty much anything they come in contact with. However, she can also use special crimson flames unique to this form that, rather than harm, heal anyone they are held near. The Dark Infinity, Majade Black Bahamut uses the same cards and driver as her dad, so now she gets to use them in her own Alchemist driver. While she doesn't retain her dad's power of flight, she does retain the power to create black holes from her chest that can completely absorb and nullify ranged and energy-based attacks, and pull in nearby enemies too. Now on to the 6 combos that haven't appeared as physical suits at all. The first one being the Aqua Ruler, Majade Mercury Poseidon. Being a combination of 2 water-related chemis, this form has the power to create and manipulate water however she pleases, and is also armed with a spear on each forearm, which, as they are, can be used in close-range combat, but they can also extend to strike enemies at long range. And of course, being a water-based form, Mercury Poseidon is able to breathe and easily traverse underwater, and is a master at underwater combat. Following that is the Shining Majesty, Majade Venus Griffin. This form of Majade has light-based powers, able to emit an immensely bright light from the rose-red parts of her body. She can also use a less amplified version of this, focused from the griffin eyes on her head, that can act as a flashlight. Her light-based powers also allow her to make rose-red hard-light constructs, such as claw constructs on her forearms to enhance the ones already there, and wing constructs on her back, allowing her to fly. Next up is the Asteroid Allfather, Majade Gokigen Odin. Wielding the power of the almighty ruler of Asgard himself, this form of Majade has the ability to summon storms. Storms that not only bring forth thunder and lightning, but also meteor showers. This form's lightning doesn't just come from storms though, as Majade can also generate it directly from her hands, and she can also make spears out of lightning too, that always strike their target no matter what. Utilizing my favourite cosmic chemi is Majade's next form, the Howling Rings, Saturn Fenrir. Besides this form's sharp claws, Saturn Fenrir can emit a freezing aura to instantly freeze anything in a 3 meter, or 9'10", radius around herself, which can expand to a 5 meter or 16 foot 5 radius when using her Nova finisher, and then a 7 meter or 23 foot radius when using her Big Bang Nova finisher. She can also trap her enemies in ring-shaped bindings made of rock and ice that slowly freeze anyone who tries to break free from them. She can also unleash fierce blizzards of wind, snow, and sharp rocks at her foes, and coat her claws in ice to enhance her slashing attacks. The Gigant Archer, Majade Jupiterus, is a master archer, armed with a bow and arrow-like weapon on each forearm that she could use to launch arrow-like projectiles at her enemies. And if she isn't able to aim straight shots at her enemies, she can manipulate wind currents to redirect the trajectory of and accelerate her projectiles, ensuring they meet their targets no matter what. This wind current manipulation also allows her to deflect ranged attacks aimed at Majade and her allies, and using the power of Jupiter, she's able to enlarge herself at will. The last form for the video is what I'd imagine to be a final form for Majade, the bestial creator Gaia Dragon. Using 2 level 10 chemis together, this is Majade's strongest form, combining the powers of the first 2 chemis to ever exist. Armed with immense strength and durability, the ability to fly, the power to create and manipulate water with her right blue side, create and manipulate lava with her left red side, and can shoot crystal shards from her hands at her enemies. And with that, both Super Gotchard and Majade have even more forms they can access. Thanks to JK521 for making this possible, go check him out. I'll leave a link to his Fiverr down in the description. I hope you all enjoyed this video, and if you'd like to see more videos filling out the unused forms of Gotchard, let me know down in the comments below. Like, subscribe, and share this video. Join my Patreon for just £2 a month to see my videos early. And with all that being said, I'll see all you valid peeps next time.